Simon Fell.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak in broad support of this bill. It offers a comprehensive reform of an asylum system which is broken and dysfunctional in part. It's clear what's needed, a system which is fair to those in genuine need, but firmly against those who break the rules and to the criminal gangs who seek to exploit some of the world's most vulnerable and desperate people. Access to the UK's asylum system should be based on need, not the ability to pay for people smugglers. And all too often it's them who gain, not the individuals who are being trafficked. My constituents have been rightly enraged by the images of abandoned boats on the south coast, and they've not been backwards in their demands for change. They don't want to pull up the drawbridge, but they expect that we should have a system which cares for those in need and which exercises genuine control over who enters the country and under what circumstance. Mine's a community of strong ties, which has welcomed families from afar with open arms, but it's also a community which has been frankly shocked that it would appear that we don't have control over who enters and leaves our country. So I applaud my right honourable friend's determination to improve the UK's position. Imagine for a moment the lived experience of some of the people arriving on the UK's shores by boat, a boat not fit for purpose, overpacked with families with a bursting need to leave their homes. People who sold most of what they owned to pay for a journey that is likely illegal from beginning to end, and who have paid what money they've gathered to criminals who care not a jot for their safety or whether they make their end destination. These are people who are drip-fed stories of a land of milk and honey on these shores by gangs who want to extort as much money as possible from them. By making the journey longer, by encouraging them to travel through safe countries to the UK, the gangs don't care about their charges, they care about their wallets. So this is a system which must be reformed, and the most valuable tool to do it is to bear down on those who enable it, the vile criminal gangs at its heart. So I welcome my right honourable friend's determination in this aspect of the bill in particular, but I'd also welcome the government giving some consideration on strengthening an area linked to this, which is about joining up the powers they might employ to gather information from across different silos, from law enforcement, the private sector, the public sector. We know that these gangs are linked to lots of different types of criminal activity, whether it's money laundering, human slavery, common scams even. So we need to break down those silos to work more effectively and tackle them. I also welcome that the government's been clear that we stand by our moral and legal obligations to help innocent people fleeing cruelty from around the world. This is rightly the cornerstone of our immigration policy. Continuing resettlement of genuine refugees, family reunion, and improving the reception processing system, these are welcome measures. I'd also argue that there's another side to this, though, which needs watching. If we choose not to reform the system now, we risk stoking up outrage and fear on our own shores. I've already seen in my own constituency some of the effects of this. We've had hateful right-wing propaganda distributed on the streets, using some of the imagery from the south coast. Our cenotaph in Barrow was recently defaced, and we've had a very few isolated incidents, thankfully, of racism on our streets. The people responsible are the exception and the fringe, but we've got to be in no doubt that by tackling this issue fairly, we remove some of the tinder that could light a dangerous fire at home. Aware of time, I'll draw to a close, and I'll just say that I broadly welcome the measures in this bill. It's beyond time to reform our broken asylum system and replace it with one that is fair and offers a hand up for those in genuine need and targets those who seek to exploit some of the most vulnerable in the world.